Hey guys, welcome back to this lecture, Enable CloudWatch Monitoring. In this lecture, we'll learn how we can integrate CloudWatch with our Prometheus service and how we can scrape the metric that we want from our choice. Okay, so let us quickly jump onto the demo now. So guys, if you remember from the first lecture of this section where we have created the Prometheus ecosystem in the task or in ECS cluster, we have deployed one container over there which was CloudWatch exporter. So guys, this particular container is responsible for your integration between CloudWatch and Prometheus. Now how would we do it? So what container exporter does, basically it uses the task role to read the metric data from CloudWatch and then exposes it over a particular port, let's say 9106 in our case, and then we can set up that particular port and the container name in our Prometheus configuration file to scrape the metric data from there. Okay, so now let me quickly show you the container exporter again. So this is my task that is running. Okay, and here you can see this is the CloudWatch exporter, and this CloudWatch exporter is having this particular external link. Okay, it is using the 9106 port to expose the metrics. Now guys, if you remember from the setup when we were creating it, we have created a config file for this from where it reads the configuration, okay, which metric it needs to be, or it need to scrape for us from the CloudWatch. So I'll show you that now. Let us quickly go to our ECS volume where our all the ECS files are available. So I'll listing it. I'll see this config.tml. Okay guys, now here at the time of the first lecture we have just created this file here. I've not explained you each and everything here. Now I'll help you understand how do we write it. Okay, so guys, the very first thing in the configuration, we need the region. So region should be US East 1, and then the 3 hyphens is the very first actually. So these 3 hyphen basically says, okay, this is the starting of the file, so you need to specify it always in the YAML file. Okay, now region we are saying US East 1. Okay, metrics, in the metrics now we need to pass, okay, what all metrics you want to see and their related configuration. Okay, now start with the very first. Here I'm saying, okay, I need the metric which is available in AWS namespace, and the namespace name is AWS EC2. Now what is the meaning of this? Let me open the CloudWatch as well so that I can show you live. Okay, so in the CloudWatch you'll go to all metrics here. Now guys, all these are the boxes you are seeing here, like backup, PBS, EC2, ECS. These are the namespace. Okay, now the very parent one is the AWS, and then below that we have EC2, ECS. Okay, so now in our case what we have given, okay, we have given AWS EC2, that means AWS and then EC2. So my metric is available inside this. Now it is your wish which metric you want to map. So what you'll do, you'll go inside any of these. In my case, what I've done, I've used the metric present inside per instance metrics. Okay, now here I'm saying, okay, metric name is CPU utilization. Let us go to there and let's check for CPU utilization metric. Okay, this metric is available over here. And the next I'm saying is my AWS dimension that I want in the series is instance ID. Okay, so the every series which I'll get 2 things: instance ID and the CPU utilization. Now what is this dimension here? So guys, here you are seeing 3 columns here: instance name, instance ID, metric name. Okay, so these are 3 dimensions. Now I have filtered this particular dimension. Okay, I want to see this dimension. Now the next thing I'm doing, AWS dimension select. So what I'm doing here is basically based on the dimension which I have captured over here, I want to specify further, or I want to use further filter. I want to filter the metric data based on this dimension. So what I'm doing, AWS dimension select, where instance ID, that is the dimension which I selected, is this one. Okay, now what I'm doing here basically, so this metric is available for all these instances. Okay, instance IDs. I don't want to see the metric series for all these instances. Instead, I want to see the data for this instance only. So this is how I further filtered it down. Okay, and now the next I'm saying AWS statistics. Okay, what kind of data you need? You want to have the sum, average, minimum, maximum. So you can specify it here as well. By default it uses, if you're not specifying it, you get the you get the 4 series for each and every metric. Okay, but if you can also further restrict it, like you can specify sum or average itself. So this is how we specify any metric over here. Okay, you can use any other metric as well, and you can create the configuration file as per your wish. So this way we can restrict the API calls, and also we can save the cost for us, and obviously we can get the data in the Prometheus. So now guys, as we have already created that and our container is already running, so we are supposed to see these metrics in our that endpoint 9106 port for this container. Okay, so let us first see that. So let's see whether that particular port is listening or not. 9106. Okay, that port is listening on 0000. That's great. So now let us try one thing. Let us try to curl 9106/metrics, and I want to grab only that metric, that CPU utilization. As it is CloudWatch exporter, so CloudWatch exporter exposes its own metrics as well, apart from the metric you are specifying in the config. Okay, so I just want to see the CPU utilization. Okay, so the first 4 are the comments here, and the next one. Okay, let me further these are the metrics that are showing you. Okay, these number of requests are total requests which are made, and this is created. Now you want to see the actual metric data, that is what is the CPU utilization of that instance. Let me filter with this string. Okay, this is the metric which will be created. Okay, so here you can see the data: AWS EC2 CPU utilization sum, CPU utilization minimum, CPU utilization maximum, and CPU utilization average, and these are the values. Okay, so guys, this is how we can get the data from CloudWatch exporter. Now what you next step what you can do, you can specify this endpoint in the Prometheus YAML file. So let us quickly do that as well. Prometheus.yaml, and you can create an endpoint here for this CloudWatch exporter. I need the static config here because my endpoint is gonna be static. Now in the target, there are different ways you can go. Either you can go with the private IP, or you can use the container instance as well, or container name as well. But for that, what you will have to do, you will have to link the container as well. Okay, so I'll save it and I'll restart the task. So this way it will be visible over there as well. And for this to make it work, you'll have to make sure that your instance is having 9106 port open, because we are using the private IP to access it. So let us quickly restart the ECS and task, and then let's see if it is we are showing the data in Prometheus console. Let the new task come up. Okay, it isn't running. Let's see if we are getting any logs for CloudWatch exporter, or everything is working fine. Okay, it seems to be fine. Now let us go to Prometheus here. Now let us try to search that AWS. What was that? Just a second. Okay, let us go to Prometheus and let's see if we are seeing the data over there. Okay, let us go to targets first and let's see. Okay, this target is showing us down here. It is saying context deadline exceeded. Okay, that's fine. Let us troubleshoot it. Okay, so we will start with the security rule, because we are not seeing any error logs in the CloudWatch, so it should not be something at the container side. Okay, so let us check the networking for this. So let me check my configuration again. Here I've used this IP 240. Let me go to the instance, and okay, the private IP is different here, guys. So we have used the old IP, that's why it is not able to scrap the data from there. Let me just quickly update it here. Okay, In the same way, I'll update the earlier IP as well. Okay, I'll restart my task here again. So a new task will come up soon. So let us wait for a few minutes. Okay, it is running. Okay, that's great. Check the logs. It's fine. Let us go to Prometheus. Again, check the targets. Not service discovery, go to targets. Okay, let it resolve. Okay, that's great. So we are seeing CloudWatch Exporter is up and running fine now. That means our data should come up here in the web UI as well. Let us check for that metric now. AWS EC2. Okay, the very first metric we are getting. So let us execute it. Okay, so we just now enabled it. It might take some time to show you the data here. Once it will be up, you'll be able to see the metric value as well. Okay, in the graph section you can see it. So guys, this is how you can get the data inside the Prometheus, guys. So now this was about the CloudWatch integration, or how you can enable the CloudWatch monitoring. In the next lecture we will see how we can implement the service discovery for MSK. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.